Hi everyone, Amber Kennoy here with Everyday Kentucky. Vanessa Vale Womack is with us once again talking about all things real estate. Let's talk about appraisals.
Yes. So a lot of people know what appraisals are.
Right.
It's just the validation of what appraiser feels like a property is worth. But you know, it's interesting to me when I meet and talk to clients that they think the appraisals are public record, and it's not. It's not like it's recorded at the courthouse like a deed is. So if you were to order an appraisal on your property just to say, hey, I'm curious when appraiser values a property at, or let's say you get a HELOC, which is home equity line of credit, and the bank orders the appraisal to base that off of that, that's your private information. So it is not public. Another buyer can't find that, a realtor can't find it. So unless you share that information, it's only there for you to use. And so why that's so important is, let's say you have a private appraisal done on your property and then you decide you want to sell it. Just because a property appraises at X amount doesn't mean that that's not necessarily what the market value is in a realtor's point of view or a buyer's point of view. I recently had a seller that had a private appraisal done, and we put it on the market for a higher amount, got multiple offers, and drove the price right up because buyers were willing to pay more for it than what the private appraisal was, which they don't even know that. So.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like when you hear things like, oh, this rare thing is worth this. Mm-hmm. It's only worth that if somebody will pay that, and some people might pay more.
Right, exactly, and that's what and so when I find it really is important is when someone does a for sale by owner and they say, oh, well, I had it appraised for an estate purpose or a divorce purpose, and so they think, well, this is all the property's worth, and that's not always the case. So it's really important to sit down with a realtor and let them talk to you about what they really feel like could bring the market could bring for it. So so it's just important to know that that is not public information. So
if you get an appraisal back and you're like, wait a minute, what? This seems really low. It probably doesn't happen as much in today's economy, I feel like, but there were times where things were coming back maybe a little undervalued. Do you recommend people getting multiple appraisals if they're not happy with them?
Well, you can have 2 or 3 appraisers come out and they can have different opinions on it. They may be all within a certain range, but it depends on what comps that they pull and that they look at. And so sometimes not always the appraisal comps will be what's on the MLS. There may be a private sale that we can pull from the PBA that wasn't on the MLS that could change the value of what the appraisal comes at.
So in like Lexington, would you ever recommend somebody not using somebody like right in their backyard to do the appraisal? And I mean right in the backyard, like in the vicinity, because you know they might, like somebody who's maybe an hour away might not really have a really good thumb on the market here. Right,
so it does make a difference. I have seen that happen where an appraiser comes from a different area, comes in and they're not as familiar with it. And another good thing to know is that when your property does go under contract, so let's say you had a private appraisal done on it before, but your property goes under contract, that lender is going to submit this contract into the system for an appraiser to pick it up. So now this new appraiser knows, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer are willing to pay X amount for this property, and the seller is willing to sell it for that property. So that appraiser then knows, okay, this is my target to try to hit. And so you hear a lot of people say, well, it appraised for what the contract says. Well, they see that. They know that this is what, so they have a target amount. It may appraise for a little bit more, which is great because then the buyer gets some immediate equity, so to speak, if another buyer is willing to pay that. Or if it comes in a little bit less, sometimes when we have multiple offers, some buyers are saying, I'll pay up to X amount over the appraisal value if it appraises less, what we call an appraisal gap. That was pretty popular several years ago when the market was extremely hot. You see it every once in a while now, but if it does come in lower, then we just go back to the table and we talk about it and see what we can come up with together.
All right, well, I know people have probably got a lot more questions. How can they get a hold of you?
I can talk about it all day long, as you can tell. 859-806-8253, or you can connect with me at vanessavale.com.